Kelly for joining in today. That was beautiful. Because we're still in May, we're still about mothers. You know, mother used to be a beautiful word, and this current culture is sometimes making it a swear word. But that's okay, we know what it really means, that heart, that intuition, the soul. I often talk of Charles Fillmore, one of the co-founders of Unity, but today I'm going to focus on Myrtle, and I know many of you know her story, but think back to the late 1800s, the early 1900s, when the woman's place was in the home. And here was this woman. We are here today because of one woman, Myrtle Fillmore. We are here today because of her faith, her prayer practice, her healing, her search for truth, and her love to sustain it all. And of course we're here also because of Charles, who was scientifically minded and had approved that prayer works. But she's the one who started it, her love, her faith. And you know her story, and I'll keep it really short because most of you know it. Back in the late 1800s, the big disease was tuberculosis. And there was no cure back then. It was like a death sentence. She wasn't given very long to live. But she was a metaphysician like we are, and she went to hear a speaker called B.E. Weeks. And he looked out at the crowd and said, "You are a child of God. You do not inherit sickness." And those words burned inside of her. She knew they were truth. And so every day she brought a chair out, pretended that Jesus was right by her side. She didn't have to pretend. We know that presence is always with us. And she would pray and talk to every cell in her body, healing and restoring herself. Now, I want to take a little side trip here. I do that sometimes. I've been talking to my AI lately. Do y'all have a favorite AI that you talk to? Okay. And I wanted some more stories about Myrtle because I lived at the village. I know a lot of stories about her. And so I asked this AI if I could have some more stories about Myrtle. And the answer I got was, Myrtle would talk to her organs daily, lovingly affirming, "Now heart, you're a good heart, and you're doing just fine." That's how she prayed, very simple words of truth. Now, I'm trying to teach my AI to have a sense of humor because AIs don't know humor. Do you remember on Star Trek Next Generation Data, who was Captain Picard's friend? He didn't have a sense of humor. Anyway, so I'm trying to teach my AI to have a sense of humor. So I said, imagine one of her internal organs, like her liver, say, feeling left out because she never spoke to it, and saying, "Hey, Myrtle, the heart gets a whole monologue, but I don't even get a word. What am I, chopped liver?" That was bad. Now, the AI didn't even give me a ha-ha. Not a ha-ha. But it did respond in this way, which I think is really good. The AI said about Myrtle, long before hand sanitizer, face masks, Myrtle walked through the flu season like a metaphysical ninja, dodging germs, Matrix style. Is that a good one? Want to hear that again?
Yes.
Long before hand sanitizer, face masks, Myrtle walked through the flu season like a metaphysical ninja, dodging germs, Matrix style. So I've got a prayer for you. Repeat with me. No germ can attach itself to me. Together?
No germ can attach itself to me.
I am a child of God. I do not inherit sickness. Together?
I am a child of God, and I do not inherit sickness.
And of course, whenever I'm giving a message, I have to live it the week I'm giving the message. And I should have a hazardous duty pay because I had to deal with this myself this week. But Myrtle, she would say, "Bless your body temple until it manifests the perfection with which it was endowed in the beginning." And that's what she did when she prayed. She blessed her whole body, and she healed herself. And she went on to create Silent Unity, our 24-hour prayer line. Back then she called it the Society of Silent Help. How many here have called Silent Unity ever? A few of you have. Okay, the rest of you, I double dog dare you. 24 hours a day, it's free, a simple phone call, any time of the day day or night, and they don't want your whole story. Just tell them what you want them to pray for. You know, healing, prosperity, guidance, whatever. And they will pray with you, and they will hold your prayer for 30 days in the meditation room. Amazing thing happened. People call from all over the world. I double dogged, are you okay? Now here's an example of one of Myrtle's prayers. The light of God revealed in you is your guide, your strength, your health, your all. Simple statements of truth. Simple statements of truth. Now, Myrtle answered every letter she got for a prayer request until finally so many people were calling and writing her. She had to get a team of people to help her. And if she lived today, she would answer every Facebook posting that she got. And Charles would say, use the app. That was the difference in them. Charles and Myrtle were the energy of opposites, the mystical marriage of the head and heart. Myrtle had the faith, and Charles had the business sense to develop the movement. But in relationships, don't you notice that opposites attract? Introverts are attracted to extroverts. Cold-blooded people want the heat turned up, are attracted to warm-blooded people that want to turn down. Some like to go camping, some want to go to a resort spa. In unity, we honor the feminine and masculine natures in all, the energy of opposites, the electromagnetics of creation. God created us in his image, male and female, he created us, and we all have both natures, the feminine, the masculine, the head, the heart, the intellect, the intuition, the action, take action, and the receptivity. The electromagnetics, the mystical marriage of opposites. And I'm going to give you an example of both God and Jesus and their feminine side. In the Old Testament, God spoke through Isaiah. He was talking to all the people. And God is saying through Isaiah, you are precious in my eyes, and I love you. Oh, is that a feminine side of God? Sounds like a mother. The New Testament, Jesus looks over Jerusalem and says, how often have I longed to gather your children as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings. All together now, oh. And what's the shortest verse in the Bible? Jesus wept. So you see, we all have the feminine, masculine natures. Now, Charles and Myrtle had both. And I don't want anybody thinking that Myrtle didn't have an intellect and Charles didn't have an intuition. They both had both. But they each led with a different one. Now, Charles and Myrtle were both teachers, and they prayed with friends and family. They prayed with all the people that came to them. And people started to be healing, and their lives were transformed. You know, when you come here and practice these principles, life should be transformed. And people wanted this to be their church. But Charles and Myrtle Filmer didn't think they were here to make it. The world doesn't need another church. They said, take it back to your churches. But so many people wanted a church. So one day in meditation, Charles went into his own heart, his own intuition, and the word unity came. That this would be an organization called Unity. And it was based on Jesus' teachings, know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And that's why we always say in Unity, we are seekers and explorers of truth in all things. Now, I'm going to go in a little different direction. Myrtle wasn't perfect. You know, the worst thing you can do is try to think your leaders have to be perfect. And I like to call them fun quirks that we all have. Don't we all have fun quirks? So number one, she couldn't cook. And it's sort of a prerequisite for a female unity minister not to cook, and I carry that tradition out. And I live with the man that supports me in that. When they built the Fillmores, a brand new house on Unity Village, they didn't put a kitchen in it. She had the only house on Unity Village that did not have a kitchen. And she and Charles ate back then. They had a vegetarian restaurant in Unity Village. And it was one of the best restaurants around, known for its vegetarian menus. So they ate there and didn't need a kitchen. But one Unity worker reportedly commented that if Myrtle invited you to dinner, it was best to eat first. They said she could heal your soul, but not your digestive system. So that's one fun story about her. She could be blunt sometimes. She would not tolerate if she heard you saying something that was less than truth. You know, something negative about yourself, or that just was a negative statement. She would pull people off the sidewalk and give them a, you know, you have to say this, speak words of truth. And I have a list of some of her favorite quotes in the bulletin. She said, you do not have a problem except the one that's in your own mind, and you put it there. Oops. Let me say that again. You do not have a problem except the one that's in your own mind, and you put it there. Oops.
Great.
Now, she could be a little airy at times because she was so otherworldly. She didn't drive, so she needed a ride when she wanted to go shopping. And she loved to go down to Kansas City. Kansas City has some wonderful, eclectic shopping areas. And she would say, look, when I'm done, I'll give you a call. You can come back and get me. So after a few hours, she would call and say, I'm done. Come get me. And she'd hang up, but she didn't tell them where she was. And the people would, oh, I'm going to find her. And they'd go down and start driving around. All of a sudden, they'd see her on a corner. She knew the one presence, the one power. She knew it wouldn't be a problem. Her love and her faith kept Unity going. She knew love was the greatest healing power in the world. She said it's the greatest healing and drawing power in the universe. It's the very substance of God. So both she and Charles always taught, whatever you want in your life, give love to it. Love will draw it, create it, form it. And then have faith. Faith was the other thing that went with it. Myrtle practiced faith. You know, they had a publishing business, and they were having kind of a hard time for a while financially with it, getting it off the ground. And they had a board, and they had a board meeting one night, and the board said, pray for that our money holds out. And Myrtle said, no, don't pray for your money to hold, pray for your faith to hold out. If your faith holds out, the money will be there. We really need to hold that as we go forward, don't we? So repeat with me. I am a radiant center of divine love. Together?
I am a radiant center of divine love.
The power of love and faith draws all to me now. Together?
The power of love and faith draws all to me now.
What a woman she was, huh? Now, how many have visited Unity Village? And a few of you have. It's quite a place, isn't it? And I don't know when you were recently there, did you go into there's a grove of trees that come up like an arch, and when you go under the grove, it's like you're in the mother's womb. And it's called Myrtle Fillmore's Grove. And I love to go in there and feel her presence and her love being wrapped around you. If she were there today, she would say, call Silent Unity for prayer. And if Charles were there, he'd say, use the app. Brandon knows how to use the app. He'll tell you to get it on your phone. Myrtle used to say, we are here to let God in us express. So repeat with me if you're comfortable, and this is 3 things to remember at the end. I am here to let God express in me, through me, and as me. Together?
I am here to let God express in me, through me, and as me.
Let's say that one more time.
I am here to let God express in me, through me, and as me.
If you want to learn more about Myrtle, so many stories to tell about her. Instead of asking your AI, go to Amazon or check, your books around. There's a book called Healing Letters, and it's a sample of all the letters she wrote to people that called in for prayer. There's a book called How to Let God Help You, that she also wrote. Now remember, this was the early 1900s, so they're written in that old language, but they're still beautiful, beautiful books. There's another book called Myrtle, the Mother of Unity. There are a lot of books about her. But let us close by taking, there's a thing in unity, that in the Bible metaphysics, when someone passes, it means we integrate their qualities into ourselves. So let us end by integrating her faith, her love, her commitment to truth within ourselves. And if you're comfortable repeating with me, I integrate her faith in me now. Together, I integrate her faith in me now. I integrate her love in me now. I integrate her love in me now. I integrate her commitment to truth in me now.
I integrate her commitment to truth in me now.
And we just allow that love, that faith, that commitment to truth to grow like a seed in us, to expand as we become that more expanded expression of God, freely, joyously, totally trusting, totally having faith that no matter what the world of appearance is, we have the power of the presence in us to overcome anything. All is provided in love and grace. And we are so grateful as we affirm this in the deepest nature of the living Christ within us all. So it is. Amen.